Hello and welcome to a very special interview series at ETBFSI.com. We all know that affordable housing has been a key driver in the housing finance sector, and there are reports which has projected that the segment is going to grow at 15 to 17% AUM for the coming fiscal. With this background, today we have with us Mr. P. Balaji, who is Managing Director, Aptus Housing Finance, to share his views and thoughts on the industry. Hello, sir, and welcome to the show.
Thank you, Vikas. Thank you for having me on the show.
Pleasure is mine, sir. To begin with, first thing first that I would like to understand from you that how effective role do you see the NBFCs and housing finance companies are playing in the housing finance sector, considering the banks are also into the picture?
See, if you look at it, if you look at the housing finance industry, you can divide it into two. One is that there are companies and banks which is servicing the salaried customers. And I would say they are over serviced because these kind of salaried customers mostly are there in the urban cities like Bombay, Chennai, or even a slightly the cities like Hyderabad, Coimbatore, and those kind of places where they are getting loans when they ask for, and they have got readily verifiable income documents. So there, that's a different market where people are operating. But if you look at the affordable housing, so this is where is the main driver for growth, because if you look at it, what is happening, uh, if you look at the mortgage penetration in India, which is around 11% to GDP, which is very low as compared to the other countries. And also, what happens is the housing shortage is more in the tier 3, tier 4 areas where we are operating. So, with the result, we have got enough evidence to prove that there is a huge market and huge runway for growth for these affordable housing finance companies. So this is one thing which is driving this affordable housing finance sector. Then the next one is the government initiatives on PMAY, affordable housing segment, giving subsidies. So those are some of the things which is helping the sector. And also industry, also the other core industries like cement, steel, hardware, and all those kind of things. Then the next thing is the tax benefits that are available to both the companies, both the housing finance company and also to the customers, is giving this fillip to this affordable housing finance industry. So anybody who is there in this industry will be able to grow very decently, provided they've got this execution skills and they are a credit-oriented organization rather than a growth-oriented organization. So this is what I think these housing finance companies can contribute to this sector. Then another thing is you asked about this NBFC contributing to this. See, again, if you look at this, government's trust on MSME, governments on to those kind of customers, the kind of customers whom we serve. Suppose, for example, in Aptus itself, we started as a standalone housing finance company sometime in 2009-10. So after that, we ran this company as a specific standalone housing finance company. But when we approached our customers, what happened was some of the customers genuinely needed the loan for construction of their houses. Some of the customers already had houses, but they were running their businesses for which they told, I will give you my house as mortgage to you, but I need the money for running my business. So what we thought was when we explored that market was also having a huge potential to grow. So that's where we applied to RBI for an NBFC license, which is this NBFC is a 100% wholly owned subsidiary of the housing finance, where this business is also growing very well. So that is what I think will be the contribution of both the housing finance companies and the NBFCs to this sector.
So recently, we have seen in the reports that you have projected that by financial year 2028, you plan to grow your AUM by 25,000 crore. Would you like to share what roadmap you are going to take and how you are, going to make this happen?
See, like as I told earlier, the first of all, the market potential is there for us to take. So that's the first thing which gives us that kind of confidence which can grow. I mean, by FY28, if I say it is 25,000 crores, I should grow annually between 29 to 30% on the loan book. So if you break it down across years, break it down with the numbers. So this is possible. First of all, market potential. Then the next thing is there are two or three things which we are doing. One is we always have a strategy of selecting a particular state and going deep into it. So the growth will come from three or four. We have these following growth levers. So what happens is, first of all, we'll be opening new branches in the new states like Orissa and Maharashtra, which will contribute to the growth. Then, like as I told, we go deep in a particular state. So we have done this. If, for example, if you take the state of Tamil Nadu, what is happening is we every 50, 60 kilometers we'll have a branch. We are almost having 91 branches in Tamil Nadu. Similarly, if you look at coastal Andhra, every 50, 60 kilometers we'll have one branch. And so that is one. So we have not replicated that in the states of Telangana and Karnataka, which we'll be doing. So what does that mean? New branches in the existing states is going to contribute to the growth. Then what we call as increasing the capacity of the existing system. What does that mean? Pushing these branches to perform more because of the huge market potential that is available. How will this be done? By increasing the average ticket size from say 8 lakhs to say 9 lakhs or 10 lakhs. So if I do that, I'll get at least 25 to 30% growth on that ATS itself. Then the next thing is, if you look at the number of files that gets logged in or sourced per sales officer, currently it is around 3 to 3.5. So if I increase it to say 4 or 4.5, then it is going to bring me the growth. Then the next thing is increasing the number of people per branch. Suppose if a branch has a budgeted strength of 5 people, and if he has only 4 people, then you recruit one more person who will contribute to the growth. Over and above that, we are having a digital marketing team placed at the head office. See, we are having three channels through which the leads gets generated. One is our customer app. So when we give a loan to a customer, this customer has to download an app through which he can refer the leads. Then the next thing is what we call as the construction ecosystem app. So if you go to a tier 3 location, what happens there is there can be a hardware shop, there can be a cement shop. So we have onboarded those shop owners into an app. So when a customer comes and buys certain things from them, he will ask the customer whether he needs a loan. So that also will get into so he can also refer the lead. Then the third thing is the leads that is generated from the social media. So once all these leads are generated, we have a team at the head office which sanitizes the lead by talking to the customer, by doing a credit bureau report, and then by doing a PAN profiling. So what happens after that is a cold lead which lands into the head office gets into a warm lead kind of a mode, and that gets forwarded to the branches for taking it forward. So if you look at it, like if for the quarter ended December 24, almost 20 to 25, 22% of our disbursements came through this channel. So these are the various levers with which we can grow, and we are very confident of doing this.
So for this financial year, like we have just wrapped up the financial year, I'm not sure that whether you have the numbers with you or not. But still, if you would like to share that, what was your average ticket size and the customer acquisition cost that you had?
Yeah. So if you look at the average ticket size, if you look at FY24, it was around 8 lakhs. It has gone up to 8.7 to 9 lakhs this year. So which is a good thing to happen, which means 1 on 8, which is almost 16% growth that is coming in. So that is uh, sorry, 12% growth that is coming because of the increase in the ATS itself. Then, if you look at the acquisition cost, the philosophy of Aptus is not to depend on a connector or a direct selling agent. We generate all leads internally. Of course, the digital marketing also contributes to this. So the leads are generated by our own internal people, either by our sales officers or by the digital marketing team. So we pay with the result, the acquisition cost is around 0.8 to 1% of the disbursements.
So now coming back to some industry specific questions. Being a leader in the housing finance segment, how do you read the demand in the housing finance sector, and where do you see the future going? Considering a lot of high end projects are being introduced, and what is the demand that you foresee?
See, as I told you, see, if you look at the locations where we fund, it is basically tier 3 and tier 4 locations. There is no concept of this apartment culture and those kind of projects that gets built. So if you go to an outskirt, it is basically a typical customer of Aptus will be a person who owns 1,000 square feet of land. On that, he constructs a house of 1,000 to 1,200 square feet, and we fund part of the construction cost. But the land also comes to us as collateral. We don't fund anything for the land. So that's why our LTV is between 35 to 45%. So this is the business model. But again, as I told you, because of the huge housing shortage, and because also we can see there are lots of urbanization that is happening. Then there is also this nuclear families that is coming in, and improvement in affordability for getting a loan. And all these persons, they are their first time house owners. So with the result, they are having this ambition to live in a house which is on their which is theirs, which is their own house. So that ambition is driving this industry. And of course the housing shortage. See, earlier, around for 10 years back, there was no company to fund these customers, because these customers were considered as a perception was a risky customer, but there were no data to prove that these were risky customers. So, I mean, Aptus or somebody like Avas or somebody like Home First, when we started the company, everybody felt if you are able to analyze and evaluate these customers correctly, then what happens is you will be able to recover the money whatever you have lent. So that means they are not a risky customer. And that has proved a point, because 10 years we have been, almost 15 years we have been running this company with impeccable quality of book. So that is what is driving this. So, with the result, the demand is huge. We just have to pick and choose the correct customers, and we should not be very greedy for growth. So that is the success mantra for any of the companies. And if we are able to follow this with good execution skills, people will be better.
So, considering like you are one of the veterans in this sector and you have been catering the industry since very long, would like to understand that what are the new trends that you have been witnessing in the sector, and what are the changes that you have seen in the over the last couple of years in the affordable housing segment.
See, lots of technological improvement is coming in. With the result, all of them are enabling these kind of businesses. For example, in Aptus itself, in the month of April, not this year, April 24, we went into a new lead management system, which has been developed by our own service provider, in-house service provider. But this in-house system is almost similar to what a Salesforce can do, but it is at a lesser cost than what Salesforce is charging. So with the result, but what is happening, if you look at the capability of this lead management, it is starting from the lead generation to the login, sanctions, and disbursements, including the credit, legal, and technical. Everything can be done on the field by the team, respective functional team, and they can do it using a mobile. So with the result, people need not come to office. They can be on the field, secure more business, and the ease of operations has really become very good. So with the result, they are just typing the credit appraisal memorandum in the mobile screen and then sending it to head office for decision making. So that is one thing which we have done, and we are very happy about the way the whole thing has come out. And that is one thing. But outside also, there are so many technological improvement that is coming in. Of course, we are also talking about ULI, which RBI has been talking, but still there is some way to go to get that implemented, because that involves digitization of land records. But having said that, there is something called account aggregator which has come in, Aadhaar onboarding which has come in, bureau check which is coming. So all this can be done through an electronic platform nowadays. Similarly, the e-NACH, the we get the authorization from the customer to debit his bank account on a monthly basis using e-NACH. So that is also is being done through online thing. I mean, e-NACH, if you just do it, comes the approval comes from the bank in hours. So, and we have made that as a compulsory thing, which has resulted in the bounce rate of these customers. So those are some of the things which has helping the industry. And if you look at Aptus, we have embraced technology across all functions, and also even the legal agreement which is getting signed, it is being done through an electronical means. So clearly that is one thing which is happening. And of course, collections, if you look at it, our 98% of our collections are through digital means. Suppose every month I give an 100, for example, I give an 100 depositions. Of that, 80 gets cleared, 20 gets bounced. But this 20 also, of that 20, 18 gets collected through electronic means, which means we all know even a 10 rupee transactions is getting recorded through an UPI now. So with the result, I'm getting all the payments through digital means. Only 1 or 2% is cash. So we all know cash collection is a risky business. So it's better that we are able to do this digital technology leveraging. And also we have got lots of analytics with the result. I mean, we have got this check bounce prediction, we have got profile wise analysis, we have got pin code wise analysis, which the learnings of those will get plowed back into the credit policy of the company, which is resulting in a good quality of book getting generated.
So you shared a lot of technological advancements that are happening in the sector, and you're also
Yes.
using them, to cater to your customers. But would like to
Yeah.
understand from you that how's the adaptability from the customer side to the new technologies and tools that you are introducing?
There's nothing, I mean, it is easy for them. See, first of all, regarding the payments, I'm sure all the customers have got into this UPI mode. So there is no problem there. And we all know there are newspaper reports that most of the customers, most of the people in India are owning smartphones. So all this can be done through smartphones. So that is not a problem. The other one is basically it is not the question of adaptability of the customers. It is basically the company pushing these kind of things. So, and it is easy for the customers. See, for example, a sales officer goes and gets the lead and onboards the customer. What he needs to do is he has to talk to the customer and then fill up details in the mobile app, and then maybe he has to take some pictures of the KYC and those kind of things, which talks to the Aadhaar website and gets it validated. Similarly, if you have to do the bank statement, you do a penny drop and the bank statement gets validated. If you have to analyze the statement of the customer, you send a link to the customer, ask the customer to link and click on the link and uh, give a approval for using his bank account. Then the bank statement gets downloaded. So everything is getting. Otherwise, what happens is earlier when the account aggregator was not there, the bank it will get delayed because the customer has to go to his bank, get the bank statement printed, and then he has to come. If you know, if you look at the public sector banks, they will say it is in a tier three location. They will say it will take 2 3 days for them to give the bank statement. So to that extent, I will not be able to give a sanction without looking at the bank statement. Now it is all instantaneous. So this is resulting in faster delivery of credit to these customers, and we are able to say yes or no to a customer within a very short time. If you look at our proposals, almost 90% of the proposals we have said yes or no within 72 hours. So all these things that only technology has brought in.
So do you feel that for affordable housing sector, penetration towards the tier one cities is still a challenge, and they should be restricted to tier three, tier four cities? Or do you feel that what step needs to be taken if they want to expand their growth in the tier one segment?
See, I personally feel for the affordable housing finance company, tier one is not the market. Because tier one means, for example, if you take a place like Bombay, minimum will be 70 lakhs, 80 lakhs property. Even if you go to where like Dagisar or that place, I don't think it will be less than 50 lakhs. So which is not our market. So unless you have a definition of affordable housing which says that I want to be in 40 to 50 lakhs range, and that is an affordable housing finance definition. Because that is not the market. Because there are people, there are banks, there are housing finance companies who serves these kind of customers. So actual market for our kind of companies are tier two to a certain extent. Major market is in tier three and tier four. So those are the locations where we need to tap, and there is huge potential there.
Sir, does Aptus has any plans to expand its geographies, and do you have any plans to raising funds in the near future?
First, let me explain about the geographies. As I told you, one is selecting a particular state and going deep into it. The other one as part of the growth strategy is I would like to grow on a contiguous basis. I don't want to grow sitting here. I don't want to open a branch in say UP or Calcutta, because we strongly feel this is a people oriented business. It is an execution oriented business. So sitting in Chennai, I can't control things what is happening in say UP or Calcutta. So what I feel is it is better that I open branches in Orissa and Maharashtra, which is near the states of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. So how does that happen? So I'll just give an example. If you look at the first branch of ours in Orissa, it is in a place called Berhampur. This is very close to a place called Srikakulam in Andhra Pradesh. So what will happen? When I open a branch in Berhampur, I employ local people from Orissa there, but the culture of the company will come from Berhampur, sorry, Srikakulam to Berhampur. So what will go through in the company, how the customer, how the people have to behave in the company, how the employees have to be done. So all these things, training will be done from Srikakulam, while the sourcing will happen from the local guys. So once we are confident of that, then we'll open more branches in that state. So that is the way in which we want to grow. So contiguously we will want to grow, and that is what is the plan, and we are able to do that properly. Then you are talking about the offshore funds and onshore funds. Definitely, we will explore offshore funds and onshore funds. Of course, everything boils down to the cost of funds. If I'm able to get good money from an ECB at say 6.9 or 7%, I will definitely go for it. And of course, local markets are also there. So everything, if it is making commercial sense for me, I don't have any problem in going for an offshore funding or an onshore.
So before we wrap up this conversation, I would like to bring into the picture one of the topics without which any conversation is incomplete. That is the artificial intelligence, AI. Would like to understand from you that how AI is transforming the housing finance sector and can transform specifically the affordable housing finance sector, and how it is playing for Aptus.
See, as of now, artificial intelligence, as you rightly said, it is playing a huge part. In fact, we are also exploring artificial intelligence in recruitment. As one of the finance companies have already done it, we are exploring ways to do that. The other one is using artificial intelligence for our customer service. So those are two things which we are actually working on. But going forward, also, what we are thinking is, since everything is done online, whether the lead generation or the customer onboarding, the discussion with the customer. So, what will happen is, if those discussions are recorded, what will happen is we'll be able to understand the profiles of the customers better using an artificial intelligence platform. And then we will be able to generate more objective way of evaluating these kind of customers. So that also we are working on. So various things which we are working on is this kind of artificial intelligence. It is still in the nascent stage because, of course, in other areas it has gone very big. But in the housing finance company, where the human intervention and where still in most of the states, if you have to register a document or register a mortgage, you have to go personally. So those are the things which needs to change. Then the artificial intelligence will take its part. But again, this account aggregator, everything is that also will give us a guide idea. See, for example, using the account aggregator, we can analyze the bank statement. So we will know, because I will tell you, we have got things in place where if by analyzing the annual the bank statement, if a person has got addicted to say Rummy Circle or something, I will not be in a position to fund, but I'll be able to know from the account aggregator. So those are the kind of insights that is getting developed, and we'll surely use AI as and when it develops, and as and when we feel appropriate to wherever we are putting. But initially, we are putting it in CRM and also the HR.
I think I'm done with my questions, and thank you so much for giving your valuable time and talking to us. The interaction was really insightful. Thank you.
Thank you, Vikas. Yeah, bye.